I'm in Doncaster in South Yorkshire visiting Bagnalls, a family-owned painting and decorating business that's recently celebrated its 150th anniversary. 1 in 6 of its employees are apprentices, and I'm here visiting its training academy to find out why apprenticeships are such an important part of the business.
I'm Oliver Dyson, I'm Head of Finance here at Bagnalls. I'm 6th generation family member. My great-great-grandfather was actually an apprentice back at the start of the business, so we've been around for 150 years and we've been using apprentices ever since. We're a painting and decorating business, so we started off painting smaller things like bridges, train stations. Now we paint an eclectic mix of things, so football stadiums, universities. The fact that Bagnalls is a family-owned business means that the culture really does emanate through at different levels. That's what we're all about. It's one of our kind of core values at Bagnalls as well. So it's about looking after people, caring for people and bringing people through.
One of those people is Richard Britton, who joined the company more than 30 years ago.
I'm the Group Operations Director for Alpha Bagnall & Sons. I started as an apprentice back in 1992. I did paint and decorating for 3 years and I've progressed through the company since, doing all different roles. A lot of the apprentices I trained with at the time are still in the business, whether they've progressed onto management or stayed on the tools. I think 40% of our workforce has come through apprenticeships. It's essential for our future growth. Without Bagnalls, I certainly wouldn't be stood here today. It just gave me loads of skills, which I've obviously taken to the next level. So if there's anything that happens within the business, I know from a coalface point of view what's actually happening. And that's essential. And I think without the apprenticeship, I would not be stood here now.
Painters and decorators are at the heart of what Bagnalls do, and Joe and Faith are 2 of the company's latest apprentices. So, Joe and Faith, why did you decide to come to Bagnalls to do an apprenticeship? And why the painting and decorating industry?
Creativity, and then also because I wanted to do a job that was more labour work instead of just behind a desk.
Yeah, it was the same for me. I was working a few dead-end jobs, was sort of not going anywhere in life. I went to college doing art and photography. I had that artistic sort of background behind us. I wanted to get more into working with my hands, doing more stuff.
So tell me, what does your day-to-day look like, Faith? And what is the difference between your classroom learning and that hands-on experience?
Well, in classroom at college you mostly learn more of your technical skills, and the health and safety you learn a lot as well.
And then on site, you're learning from people who've got years of experience.
You're also learning how they do things actually on the job, which helps immensely.
And then we've got the training academy in Doncaster, which there's a lot more space, there's a lot less people, so you get more one-on-one time, a lot more learning.
What have been some of the challenges during your apprenticeship?
Well, this is my first job really, so it was a challenge getting used to a new schedule, waking up early in the morning.
It's teaching you the work-life balance really.
Sometimes you go into a job and you have no idea what you're doing because you've just learnt it, but you always have your supervisors there or your contract manager that you can contact, and they'll help you out if you are stuck.
What difference does it make to you that you're earning while you learn?
It's great. I'm not in debt, which is awesome.
With Bagnalls, it's not just he has your qualification, he has a brush, it's they're investing within us to have a higher qualification as well. They've got a lot of opportunities when it comes to developing yourself. It doesn't have to end at being a painter. If you're willing to put in the effort, they're willing to give that back as well. For me personally, I'd like to stay in Bagnalls for a while.
Thomas Adderley is also an apprentice at Bagnalls, but has chosen a different career path. So Tom, you're a management trainee and a level 4 project manager apprentice. Tell me a little bit about what that entails.
Yeah, so I'll say 80% of my day is spent out and about. I'll be pricing jobs, pricing painting works. Sometimes I get to go to some really interesting places. I was at a castle the other day, and then for maybe an hour I'll come back to the office, get some quotes sent, any invoicing. I'd say I dedicate a day a week to my college work, which is more than enough, whilst allowing me to still stay on track with everything at work.
And why did you want to do an apprenticeship rather than going down the traditional university route?
Yeah, I mean, so main thing for me is obviously I can start it debt free. I feel like it gets me quite high up on the ladder. I get quite a good recognised qualification at the end of it in project management.
And what about some of the challenges during your apprenticeship? Have you faced any challenges?
I'd say the biggest challenge at the start is the fact that I'm quite young. And obviously coming into it, I'm speaking with 40-year-old and 50-year-old painters who've been doing it their whole life. But I think now I'm quite comfortable with that. And there is a lot to learn. It's a great company to work for.
Kirsty Stokes is a Senior HR and Learning Development Advisor at Bagnalls, who oversees its apprenticeships and the training for its apprentices.
Probably the most structured one is the painting and decorating apprenticeships or the management trainee scheme that we do. We have 20 management trainees at the moment. They basically are learning to become contracts managers at the end, managing the on-site teams. So the painting and decorating apprenticeship, they'll go to a local college in which they'll get their kind of formal training, but we also have our own training academy, which we're currently in, and we get all the apprentices to come here at least 2 times a year. We're currently aiming for 3 times a year. They get a full week, they're put in a hotel, and they're basically given an opportunity to practice their skills in an environment where it doesn't really matter if they go wrong.
And what difference have apprenticeships made with recruiting and retaining those skilled employees that you need?
It makes a huge difference. I think the industry generally has an ageing workforce, so we very much see our apprentices as the future of our business. We want them to stay with us. We have people who have worked up for us kind of 50 years, retiring in the last few years that I've been here. So we want the people starting now for that to be them in the future, and the only way to do that is to treat people correctly and support them. If we want someone to kind of be upskilled, we try to look at an apprenticeship as a first option for them, just to make sure that they get in kind of 360 support externally and internally, and ensure that they're getting kind of a proper qualification at the end of it, not just kind of us saying, great, you're doing a fantastic job.
And do most of your apprentices successfully complete their apprenticeship and their training?
The vast majority of our both management trainees and apprentices complete their courses, and we get quite a few people getting distinctions, going on to competitions and winning awards and things. So we're super duper proud of our apprentices.